Hey there, everybody. Forward here. Wanted to do a little video here to celebrate getting 300 followers on Twitter. I want to thank each and every one of you out there for following myself and our project and believing in the message of keeping friendship magic. And I hope that this is just a sign of even more great things to come. So, to celebrate, I dug up an old clip that was from 2014. It's the first thing I ever recorded that was Brony related. I wasn't even going by the name Forward Progress at that point. It was shortly after my first BronyCon, and I was looking back and reflecting on it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can create a web show and I'll talk about all this stuff." And I didn't really know what I was doing, but I put this thing together. It might be cool to look at. It might be really embarrassing to look at. But here's a segment of it, and thank you all again for following me, and thank you for keeping friendship magic out there.
Welcome to In the Margins. I'm Jermizzle, and today's topic of focus is BronyCon 2014. There really are no words that can truly describe my experience, but I'll try my best. BronyCon was super awesome, fantastically amazing. In fact, BronyCon served as my inspiration to start up this vlog. I've experienced both academic and sales conventions over the years, but this was my first fan-based con, and I got to see him partake in just so many amazing events while I was there. I could spend all day talking about them, but what I really want to first focus on is the community. I arrived at BronyCon Friday morning about 6:30 in the morning, and I entered the queue where I would spend the next hour and a half or so until registration opened. 90 minutes of wait time can often be a very painful experience, but not at BronyCon. I immediately struck up conversations with some of the people around me in line, and they were just as excited as I was to be there. People kept funneling in behind us, and some of them were shouting out praise for my whole Derpy Hooves ensemble, and they gave me bro hooves. It was awesome. The crowd of us joined together, we were chanting and singing, and I felt home. Home, that's really the best way I can describe it. It's said that home's where your family is, and I'll just say this, I felt connected to a huge family who I had never even met before that day. So anyway, once I got through registration, I swung into the gopher hole. For those who haven't done the convention scene, gophers are essentially volunteers who just do all kinds of odd jobs throughout the weekend. I was pretty much just volunteering to get my convention registration refunded. They do that if you volunteer enough hours. What I ended up finding myself in was a room full of awesome other people, and we all connected instantly. These were people who didn't even know me the day before, but they didn't care. That didn't matter at all. One of the things I've always felt that's awesome about being a brony, that it's all about acceptance and understanding, but when you go to an event like this and you experience it on such an epic level with so many people at once, it's just mind-blowing. So day 2 of the convention comes around, and I was one of a few people who helped organize all the contestants for the cosplay contest. By the way, this guy should have won. Hey, if you're watching this, you were robbed, man. Those wings were epic, and you put so much effort in just walking around without knocking anybody or anything over. You deserved it, even though you didn't get it. But you got it from me. Anyway, so after the last groups entered backstage to go on for the cosplay contest, there was somebody going around that whole weekend doing an interview for UK television, I believe. So she asked me about doing an interview. And while we were doing it, she told me that I was the first gay brony she had met. This was a day and a half into the convention. So it kind of got me thinking about the fact that I'm really a minority within this fandom. But more important than that is the fact that it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. I was with another gopher at the time that I'd been hanging out with a lot that first day and a half. He didn't skip a beat about my sexuality. He didn't care. Neither did anyone else. Everyone there, all they cared about was you being a good person, which is all I've ever cared about in my entire life. So in that moment, I knew I wanted to start up this blog when I got back home to talk about this very thing. There's so many of us who feel we're living in the margins of whatever group we associate with. to be honest, I wouldn't have my life any other way, and I'm happy to not be the norm, but to also know there are so many awesome people out there who will support all of us no matter what. So let's go to a couple of quick highlights from the convention. First, here's my favorite Andrea Libman moment from the panels.
How? I don't know, but yes, that is how we do it. Just go for it. No, Pinkie Pie, just say it fast. She's going crazy. Pinkie Pie, can you sit down and do a little bit more quiet? No, I can't, because I want to make fast.
Second is when I actually got to ask a question of the Brony psychologist, who are awesome, by the way.
One thing I'm curious about is what you said about how you guys don't get grants or anything for this. Is there a pushback you feel from for studies of this nature? Because personally, I feel when you get involved in a fandom like this and you see just the positive nature, there's so much that people can learn about just the positivity and the acceptance. So it's one of those things of like, what does it take? It is pushback to get that reality out there that there is a lot that can be learned.
Well, let me tell you, the first presentation that we made was in 2012 of the American Health Psychiatric Association. It was a meeting sponsored by the American Health Psychiatric Association. And they asked us to submit our presentation for publication. They could not find anyone to edit. Nobody wanted to touch it.
Yeah, I think, and I personally, this is probably 4 or 5 years, I'll be thanking the Brony again, because we have found the field of fandom in general has just been ignored by social sciences, psychology, sociology, and we are really breaking ground. And I think because of your readiness to come forward, share with us, and because of what we're finding, we're hoping that this will lead our field to begin to take more seriously. Because I think in 5 or 10 years, we need internet fandoms that are pro-social. We need groups that are promoting positive behaviors and attitudes. And so our hope is that we're breaking the ice and that then other social scientists will take notice and start, they won't hear fandom and think deviant. They'll hear fandom and say, we need to study this more.
I think also, we all are from small universities.
Make sure to check out bronystudy.com if you haven't before. Add to their research. It's really interesting. It's going to help people know more about our fandom. That does it for this edition of In the Margins. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you liked it, and I will see everyone next time.